How you doing, everyone? This is Trey, and I have just a gigantic backlog of videos that I would like to either use or lose. So I'm just in that spirit. Here comes a bunch of outtakes from my old project, Gossipin' Games, and I haven't completely abandoned this project. It's just on the back burner right now. I may bring this back. Let me know what you think. Except in the future, I'm probably not going to do the gimmick where I'm always doing some kind of face paint or some type of costume and I always have to be wearing purple and green. Anyway, let me know what you think. And don't forget to check out Visions of 2020 coming out on January 1st, 2021. Anyway, talk to you guys later. Peace out. Yeah, I hate to hate on this because I think it's good writing, but the Chippendale Rescue Rangers theme has always just annoyed me. I think it's annoyingly upbeat, but you know, it works for what it is. It was for little kids. So yes, we are recording. It's always good to double check. I used to have this game as a kid, and I played it a lot. It's fun. It's not the hardest game on the system, but it's fun for what it is. Capcom made a lot of really good Disney games. They also made DuckTales and Darkwing Duck. Part of what makes this game fun, I think, is just the little things like being able to hide inside of the box, and when you're playing multiplayer you can pick up each other and throw each other. It's kind of funny. You know, it's just when the designers go that little extra mile to make your gaming experience just slightly better in a way that, you know, may not have been necessary to finish the game per se, but just, you know, those little things that make the video game just slightly better. You know, that's the mark of a classic game, in my opinion. Starting off, I think I'll play Donkey Kong. I've always been a big fan of Donkey Kong, but I like the arcade version. The NES version is really dang close, but it's just not exactly the same. You know, there's a lot of animation cut out, and it's missing the screen that says how high can you get, and I always get a kick out of that. Alright, that's not gonna work. Ugh! Jump prematurely. I think that's better. But yeah, I've always loved this game. You know, it's the original appearance of Mario, and it's classic. And I love how the very first Super Smash Bros. Put the mallet from this game in there and even included this music. That, you know, that's always cracked me up. Yeah, I got him at the last second. Now, if you've never played this game, it may not look as suspenseful as it actually is, because the controls are not super duper tight like they are in later Mario games. There's a slight delay whenever you want to go up or down the ladders, and the jumps are a little bit more finicky than they are in other Mario games. Like, you have to be really careful about missing jumps, because the slightest fall will kill you, and it's ridiculous how small the distance can be for you to die from a fall. But, you know, it's just part of the game. You get into it. You kind of learn what your boundaries are. I also appreciated the fact that they put this level into the latest Super Smash Brothers, right down to the bouncing thing, the springboard. Drinking Ecto Cooler today. I'm down to like 3 of these, and you know, makes me sad, but I'm not gonna hold on to them forever. I'm sure they'll re-release Ecto Cooler again in the future. All about representing that green today. You know, I still got the purple, of course, but you know, green hat, green gloves. I don't even wear gloves when I do this show. I was just inspired to do it this time. Green beer, Sierra Nevada Pale Ale. And this, believe it or not, is a dog leash, a green dog leash. But I was like, you know, it'll look cool on camera. And I needed that little bit of green on my body. What can I say? I'm obsessed with color. I don't have any qualms about that. I usually, as a kid, would start on Magnet Man, but occasionally I would start on Top Man. I think they're about equal. You know, they both have fairly easy levels, and they both are both of the bosses are fairly easy to beat with just the arm cannon. You don't need any like special items to get through either level or to get any of the secrets. Because the thing about Mega Man is, in all of the Mega Man games, there's definitely a preferred order of doing the stages. No, you don't, you son of a bitch. Had a hair in my mouth. Damn it. I've played this game so many times. This is one of the games that I've logged many of my life's hours playing. I know this game very well from start to finish. As a kid, I wasn't even all about beating games. I was more just about an escape from reality. You know, just sort of being a character for an hour or two. And I always got that with Mega Man. Mega Man was one of those characters that I would have loved to have had like action figures of. I'm surprised that was never a thing, and if Mega Man had been a thing like a generation or two later, there totally would have been action figures, because there's action figures of everything now, even remotely successful. And back in the day, you know, things had to be really successful as a kid's brand in order to get action figures. It's just a shame. Kids have it so much better now than they did when I was young, and believe me, we had it pretty dang good. I guess kids have it better in some ways. Nah, damn it! I never missed that jump. More beer. But yeah, kids have it better today in a lot of ways, but in a lot of ways they don't. You know, I used to always say that there was going to, you know, when I got out of high school and I started observing how a lot of the kids younger than me were being raised, because the whole helicopter parent trend started around my generation, but it really kicked in after my generation. It was like the generation or two after mine where the helicopter pilot fad really took hold. And kids started being given trophies for losing, that kind of stuff, all that nonsense. And I always predicted that when these kids actually had to enter the workforce, that there was going to be a big problem with productivity, like in the workplace. So when exactly did they enter the workforce? It was sometime around 2010 and the present day. So, I mean, was there a major problem in the workforce? It's hard to say. Where I live, kind of. I mean, I haven't lived here that long, but I have lived here long enough to really know that it's not like it used to be. People, there's so much drama in the workforce now. And I know there's always been drama, but it's just, now it's over, the way people are making each other feel. And I get it, I have my emotional tendencies, so it's not like I don't sympathize, but, if you're at the workforce, you kind of have to take your emotions out of it, at least a little bit. You're getting paid for your time, and if that's what your time is worth to you, just for you to not be able to leave your emotions at home, at least somewhat. I mean, I don't know, I'm just babbling. But there are shades of gray. I do tend to lean more towards the non-progressive viewpoint here. But of course I can see both sides of the coin, at least a little. So Top Man beats Shadow Man. Anyway, I'm just kind of warming up here. So this game was actually quite influential in my childhood. I've always done projects. I've always been a creative person, even when, I really didn't have any formal education on the matter of producing content. It was still something that I was naturally drawn to, and this is something that, my elementary school teachers noticed about me, and sometimes they acknowledged this positively, and other times they acknowledged it not so positively. But I was told that I make creative comics, for example, and this was seen as a good thing. I believe that was 4th grade, I believe. Yeah, it was 4th grade. And I had a character that was known as Ninja Og, and there was meaning behind the name that I never really got into. Og, O-G-G, and I've always considered reviving this project as like a comic strip or whatever, but Ninja Gaiden actually had quite a bit of influence on the whole mythology that I was doing with Ninja Og. And I had a friend whose name was Jay. We used to make the comics together. He helped me flesh out the backstory and supporting characters for the series, and I always loved the cutscenes in this game. They're great because of their simplicity. Somebody might say that the Nintendo Entertainment System is limited in how they can do cutscenes, and this would hinder the game, but I think it's the opposite. I think the hindrance creates the greatness. The simplicity of the cutscenes really make them more awesome, in my opinion. I mean, look at that. You can't tell me that that's not awesome. That's not badass right there. You can't say that. At any rate, yeah. I will most likely revive the OG project because I have a lot of cool ideas for what I would do if I brought it back. But it's just, right now, that's just in concept stage. I don't move forward on anything unless I have a very strong idea of where I'm going. Most of the time. Sometimes I'll challenge myself and I'll start a project and put it out before I even really know what I'm doing with it, and kind of go from there. Like that EP, My Murder is Split Personality, that was one of them. That was total inspiration, just like this project, Gossip and Games, was total inspiration. I didn't have a long-term plan for it, but now that I've made it, I sort of do. I have a better idea of where I'm going with it, but most of the time that's not the case. Most of the time, I don't move forward on anything unless I have a really good idea of where I'm going. Let's just get warmed up here for a second. I'm pretty familiar with this game, so it shouldn't require too much. It's mostly just so that I can get comfortable talking in front of the camera. I've made a lot of improvements in that field, but there's still more progress to be made. You know, short version is I need to get comfortable with just being myself. Of course, you know, I'm not quite there yet. It comes from having a little bit of insecurity. You know, I ask myself, am I really capable of carrying a show of some kind? And I know that I am. I just have to summon that from within myself. I know I'm capable of bringing it, but I just need to show everyone else that I'm capable of bringing it, you know, consistently, not just some of the time. So you gotta have faith. The game will reward you from time to time, you just have to stay the course. But you also, it doesn't want to get too predictable, and if it knows that you're waiting on a specific piece, a lot of times it won't give it to you, so you just kind of have to work around that type of stuff. Like right here, I've kind of made a few mistakes, so I'm going to work on correcting those first before I go for it. Let's go ahead and go there. Yeah, see, now it's going to give me the long one because it knew I was waiting for that. I can be doing a lot better than I am. I'm pretty excited though. I've been working on plans to really push my Let's Play show, and I kind of like the thoughts that I've been having. Make it about the story of the games as opposed to just as a vehicle to promote my brand or my likeness. And for that reason, I want to make sure that that I'm smart about how I do this. And if I'm going to do a game that has a series, I want to make sure that I can really incorporate the whole series in a timely fashion. Like, you know, a series like Final Fantasy, every game is a self-contained story. I won't feel the need to do Final Fantasy 6 before I do Final Fantasy 7, or along that line of thought. But with Zelda, you know, allegedly has a bigger story that it's trying to tell, so I kind of want to, you know, like do Zelda in the order, you know, that it appears in the story, not necessarily chronological order, but you know, Skyward Sword is supposed to be the first game for Zelda in the Zelda story, so I want to do Skyward Sword first, and then, you know, on to the other ones. And I have a lot of the Zelda games, but I don't have all of them, and I want to be able to tell the story of the game, you know, throughout the course of the videos the content that I produce. So I went ahead and I made myself a list of all these games that I have, and it was sort of enlightening as to which ones I'm ready to go on and which ones I'm not. You know, enlightening in the sense that I'm a lot closer than I thought I was, but I was missing a few games that I thought I had. Like, you know, I thought that I had a copy of Donkey Kong Country for Super Nintendo sitting around, but apparently I don't. So I need to find that or repurchase it, because a game like that is essential for any Super Nintendo library, in my opinion. Make sure we're in focus here. We got audio, we got video game footage, we got face cam. We are good to go. How's everyone doing tonight? Tonight I'm drinking Stiegl Radler. It's not a harsh beer by any stretch of the imagination. It's pretty tame, has a wonderful grapefruit aroma. Flavor. You know that I'm gonna have to go with Donatello representing the green and purple. I was always a big fan of this game back in the day. You know, I love the arcade version though, the actual arcade game, not just the... That's better. Okay. I think we're good to go now. Make sure my notes are situated to where I can actually read them. I actually use note cards. It works better for me than, you know, some sort of digital option. I like the reliability of pen and paper. My general rule of thumb is anytime I can get away with not using technology, I prefer to do it that way. But, you know, being a mixed media specialist such as I, master of the 7 media, obviously, you know, I'm going to have to use computers from time to time, but I don't want my livelihood to depend on them. That's one of the many reasons I got into the culinary scene. You know, I know exactly how, for the most part, food is going to behave, or, you know, cooking equipment's going to behave. You know, when I use it a certain way, it's usually going to behave in the way that I expect it to. I can't say the same thing about computers. I don't have the patience to deal with all of the unpredictability, all the troubleshooting, all of that crap. I hate it. I think this game is underrated. I don't think it's a great game, but I think it's better than people make it out to be. Because for so long, TMNT 2, the arcade game, was considered to be the only... Well, was considered to be the game worth playing as opposed to this one. Part 3, the Manhattan Project, also went over pretty well. Manhattan Project was actually my least favorite. Well, I guess I can't say that with certainty. I probably like the Manhattan Project about as much as I like this game. Now, I certainly like the arcade game. I do tend to look at it with a little bit of a negative bias, because the actual arcade game, the one that was in places like Showbiz Pizza where I went to, you know, that game was freaking awesome. And you can look up video footage of the actual arcade game on YouTube, and it's just awesome. The music is awesome. It has all the characters, all of them worth having at least. And it was just a totally cool experience to be able to jump onto the game at any point and assist some other kids who are trying to take down the shredder. And, you know, the game looked like the cartoon come to life. And it was just fun as heck. And the Nintendo version did the best it could with the hardware it had, but in my opinion fell way short of the experience. So to try to be something that it's not, I feel that the TMNT 2 on NES, it takes a hit for that, because it's not the arcade game. So games like this, and I'm aware that this game came out on like the Commodore 64 or whatever. and that it looked better on the computer or whatever system it came on. But, you know, this game is its own thing, and I respect that for it. And TMNT3, the Manhattan Project, is its own thing, and I respect that for it. And, you know, I take its flaws on the surface for their face value. I don't have something to compare it to, if that makes sense. But, you know, with that said, I am a fan of all of the TMNT games on the NES. Dang it. Yeah, that can go south real quick if you get yourself cornered. I can't reach it. I always make it a point when I'm playing this game. I believe there's 4 secondary weapons, so I try to give each turtle a different one. Sometimes things get a little hectic and you may not catch yourself. But that's part of what makes the NES, you know, what it is. It's games like that, and you know, it's the luck of the draw. There's a high degree of randomness in NES games that you don't really find in modern games nearly to the same extent. I know that there's a trick to getting up there with Donatello, but I consider that cheap, and I don't really enjoy playing like that. Now, more power to you if you enjoy playing like that. You know, it's your gaming experience. You play it how you want to. I'm just saying, for me, it's less fun for me to snipe up there. So I usually don't do that.